Sorry, baby nose, I got cut off. But we were just switching from enumerating all these sins, right, and explaining how Christ has a standard that's much more rigorous than we can possibly approach because we are immersed in these sins. It's endemic to our daily lives as humans, fallen humans. And so I want to sort of explain a little more clearly just exactly how flawed we are in systems terms. Right? I'm still using the systems science model. So we talked about how the system works, and we talked about how the system is broken and how we can't escape the system, right? And so now I want to show just how delicate this the system is, and then that leads into why we need salvation through Jesus Christ. So where we are here is I want to talk about basically just resonance, right? So if we use the Logos model, Logos is, a facet of Christ's being. The creative, Christ created the universe, and the universe is orderly, and the universe is also creative, just like Christ is orderly and Christ is creative. And so the universe is, this structure that's orderly and creative, and our bodies are also a structure that's orderly and creative. Our relationship with God is orderly and creative. All those things are of a piece. They're all based on the Logos, right? They're all based on Christ. And as a result, they should be in attunement. They should be very finely matched so that activity of one complements activity of another. And right, I don't know really how to describe that. Maybe we'll do that in a later piece. But for now, I'm using the model of resonance. In harmonic resonance, for example, you could take a box, and it has a certain size and a certain mass, and it will vibrate at a certain frequency. That's called its native frequency. And if you direct a tone, a sound that's that native frequency at the box will vibrate at its native frequency, just as it will produce that native frequency if you tap it. Right? That's resonance. And you can, if you have two of these boxes, you're using a box to generate the tone, and it will cause this box to respond harmonically, right? And then, if you're tapping them both, then you can get what's called synchrony, and that's sort of a dual harmonic interaction. So I don't want to suggest that this is even a correct model of our relationship with Jesus, but it's what I've got for now. I'm certain even if it is reasonably correct, I'm certain it's not complete. So here's the point. The point is, if you're off just a slight bit, you're not going to get that mutual resonance. It's not going to happen. You're going to end up with noise. You're going to end up with chaotic behaviors, that model does have applications to what actually happens in the real world, as just enumerated when we went through this list of toxic phenomenon, or sin, right? So, the attunement is delicate, and we can't fix it. Right? We're immersed, we're wet, right? To use the analogy of the fish in the ocean, telling the fish to dry off, we can't do that. We're wet, we cannot dry ourselves off. You sure, bring a towel and the towel's wet. What are you going to do? We can't fix the noise and chaos that's between us and God because of our lack of attunement, the lack of attunement based on our sinful natures. So that's what got cut off. And the last remaining bit is, this is why we do this. I do this part before I do the salvation part, because this leads right into the need for salvation, obviously, right? For rejuvenation, justification, and sanctification. so that God can reach across, right? The propitiatory acts of Jesus on the cross allows God to reach across to us. God reached across to us. All we have to do is reach back, and that attunement is reestablished. It's not reestablished in full while we're in this life, right? It's reestablished in full in heaven. And it's not as though we are the same on equal footing in heaven. It's just like the boxes are not identical. There's the God box and then there's our box, and those are not obviously identical. God remains God. We remain created children of God. But nonetheless, there's going to be a much more harmonious relationship in this life if we allow God to dry us off, if we continue that metaphor, and certainly much more harmonious interaction with God in the world to come in heaven. So yeah, the next section will be on a little bit more detail on salvation. Thanks.